And, you know, that's what we need. We need to increase the size of the government. Now, see, one of the problems with politicians, they all love to run against government, Republicans and Democrats. Full disclosure, I worked in the Obama campaign, and he was against the war in Iraq. So one day we sat down and said, how quickly can I get out of Iraq? So we drew up a plan, you know, 1 to 2 brigades a month, which we talked about. And I'm going to send 2 brigades to Afghanistan. Right, that was his campaign thing. Now, what were the reasons for that? Two. One, he believed, and I think quite correctly, that that's the real threat to the United States, Iraq war. The other is that basically, I think any presidential candidate, Republican or Democrat, has to show that he or she is willing to, you know, go to war if necessary. Because I think one of the reasons that John Kerry lost in 2004, there was a perception, well, he wouldn't, be tough enough to see to do it. All right, now you get yourself in, okay, you're getting out of Iraq, you're going into Afghanistan. And a lot of people say, well, no, we voted for you because we didn't want you to go to any wars. And there's a great, in the blogosphere, you should see this stuff. I mean, these people are mobilizing, to stop going to Afghanistan. Now, I think what the president has to say, if he wants to do it, is be honest with the American people and say, look, if you want to do this, and you want it to come out right, you're going to be there another 10 years. You're not going to have the level of casualties that you had in Iraq, but you're going to have at least 100,000 troops. Right now, we have 55,000 Americans, and we may get another 15,000. They can try and get the rest from Europe, 100,000 troops. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to put the troops in the areas to protect the population, which is where the Taliban is. We know Afghanistan, the south, and the east. That's going to be more casualties, okay? And you're going to have to do that, and it's going to be expensive. They want to build an Afghan military and police force that's 400,000 people. That will cost you, for that force to maintain every year, about $3 billion. You know what the total budget of Afghanistan is? 1. This is not like Iraq where they got oil to pay for this stuff. You're willing to pay. You see, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough because I think what's happened is the worst thing about Iraq. Remember, 60% of the American people supported, all the members of the Senate and Congress voted for it. Americans don't trust the government when it comes to these things. So they can say, wow, this is really the threat. So let the Taliban come back and we stay in the area, and if they have Al-Qaeda camp, we go in and blow it up. In other words, it's going to be a very, very difficult sell, particularly when you've got these other problems that you're trying to deal with. So it's going to be fascinating. You'll know because Obama goes to the NATO meeting April 2nd in a couple of weeks and lays out his plan. In fact, I understand they come back on the pretty much that next week. And so anyway, yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm going to tell you, it's another interesting, it's a little bit off the subject, but situation. We are no longer have the economic might that we used to. Look at this scenario. The Chinese decide, for whatever reason, they're going to take Taiwan. The last vestige of Western colonialism, they waited long enough, and you say, it doesn't make sense. Well, most wars don't make sense. Okay? So they start massing on the other side of the Taiwan Straits. We start moving carriers. The Chinese say, if those carriers come within 100 miles of Taiwan, we're not lending any more money. I think the market would do it, okay? And the American people would say, for Taiwan, buddy, you see what I mean? So you've really got a real problem here because you have now, people are skeptical, they don't trust the government. And once you lose that, it's hard to get it back. And it was really a challenge for Obama, I think. The indications are that, he's going to be going big in Afghanistan. Okay, yes?
What do you think we should do about it?
Oh, that's another subject. Okay. I happen to think that you got to see it through. This is not like Iraq. This is not a war of choice. It's a war of necessity. And it's just not Afghanistan, it's Pakistan. Because you cannot, Pakistan has 100 nuclear weapons, and you can destabilize that whole region. And this is where Al-Qaeda Central is. You walk away, they'll get themselves ready to, begin to do other things. And it's easier said than done when you go ahead and blow them up. People see those places, they're not places to hide, But I would say it'll take you 18 months to stabilize the security situation, another 3 to 5 years to get, the government, going, or the security forces, and then within 10 years, it should be okay if you do everything right, but there's no guarantee. Well, again, in 2002, the people who voted no all lost their elections. It's interesting you mentioned that. Go back and look at the Gulf of Tonkin, which everybody remembers as the authorization to go to Vietnam, and it turned out that incident never happened. I remember I was on active duty. My commanding officer, I was in a squadron, said, why would the North Vietnamese do this? It doesn't make sense. Of course, they didn't do it. The only 2 senators who voted against that, okay? Ernest Gruning and Wayne Morse lost the election. So it's us when you get right down to it.